What's going on, everybody? This is TAETRO, and today I got a really awesome long-awaited package in the mail. Let's go open it. Alright, first things first, I want to thank Jammy for sponsoring this video. Not only did they provide a review unit, but they chose to sponsor some content. It's not going to change my opinion, it's not going to, I'm not going to tailor my thoughts to that sponsorship, but just some disclosure for you. Opening the box here, you first see the neck and bridge pieces. The guitar is basically fully operational with just these two pieces. The ports are here, that's 1/4 inch headphone jack as well as USB-C. You can see a volume knob on this piece here, and those pieces link together. Then we dive a little deeper and we have cases. There's a soft case for each part of this guitar, and they actually link together too. There's little buttons and there's Velcro, so when you travel and you break the guitar down, you can put all of the little pieces into a case and they can be protected in your bag. Next up, we have these two parts. Yeah, that's two parts. They're linked together right now, magnetized, and they sort of like fit together like a puzzle. But these are the body, essentially. They flank the guitar, either side of the guitar. And they're pretty cool. You can see the glossy black finish, very unforgiving for fingerprints. And then this middle part here connects those two pieces we just saw to the actual neck or body of the guitar. And then we have some hardware. That includes like a mini screwdriver, a little wrench. I assume these are for if you had to change or adjust the strings. I know that's something you can do on Jammy. But then there's also some strap hardware, and they included 3, which I thought was nice because if you lose one, you have an extra. I mount those along with the rubber ring, which helps keep the strap on, which was very useful. I was very worried about it falling off. And then we have the strap, which is basically, it feels like seatbelt material actually, but it's a perfectly fine quality strap. And then we've got a USB-C cable. The Jammy is both Bluetooth and USB via this USB-C cable, obviously. And then a cool little envelope that has 3 guitar picks in it. I thought this was pretty clever. And then as well as the directions and the warranty information. I was a little intimidated about assembling Jammy, even though I'd already assembled one. I did it with them at Loop in LA. But the directions make it pretty clear. It also has a QR code for the app, which you can watch a video of how to assemble it if you don't want to do the paper instructions, but they basically read like IKEA furniture instructions if you've ever used those. Then this warning here, there's a little latch that helps lock together these two pieces. It says opening it above 30 degrees could break it, so I was definitely trying to be careful there. But those two pieces lock together. Important to note that the strings don't touch the surface when you have it laid down like this, so if you're cringing, don't worry too much. And now we're gonna make the body of the guitar essentially. So we take this little middle piece and connect it to both of these side pieces. Little locking mechanism there is actually for locking it to the guitar itself, not for locking these pieces together. Lock and roll, very clever. But yeah, this was the hardest part of the installation. It fits in perfectly fine. You can get it to where it needs to be, but locking proved to be a challenge, which they do touch on in the instructional video. Took me a couple tries of really pushing to get it to lock. And then we have a pretty much fully assembled Jammy guitar, and there's a little kickstand for if you're holding it in your lap. Alright, so yeah, this is what it looks like all put together. It's really beautiful, that's for sure. And I also attached the strap, as you can see. I was a little nervous about the strap at first, but they included these super helpful rubber rings. I don't know if you can see that. That actually makes sure the strap doesn't fall off. The one hardest part about this setup was getting this back body part to lock on to the full actual guitar part. What I didn't know as I was setting this up was that in the app there's actually an assembly video that you can watch, and it even talks about how that part can be a little bit different and shows you specifically how to do it. It's super lightweight, but feels really good when you put it on. And since I am using it with a strap, I'm not just putting it in my lap. I need to pull this guy out. I could probably take this whole body part off if I wanted to and just use the center part that includes the neck and the bridge, but it does look super cool. And I'll highly recommend that you have a cleaning cloth nearby because you can mark this up real bad with fingerprints, but that's no different than my normal guitar. I played around with the app a little bit, but that's not super what I'm interested in. I'm more interested in how I can make a beat with this in Ableton. So let's go ahead and do that. So that was my first beat with the Jammy guitar. Let me know what you thought in a comment. A couple of things to know about the way I'm using Jammy with Ableton. Now, when I connected it via the USB-C cable, connected it straight to my MacBook, it just picked it up. I didn't really have to set any settings in the preferences. I did look just to make sure I did that, and it just shows up as a MIDI gadget. And then from there on out, all I had to do was arm my instrument tracks or my drum rack, and I was playing. And obviously for one of the instruments, I was just playing a chord. That's pretty self-explanatory, just like a normal guitar. But then when it came time for the drums, this is really interesting with a stringed instrument. I mean, I guess you can just think of it like a keyboard where each string is a different key, but it's actually really intuitive, and I'm assuming that there's ways you can get creative by setting different drums on different strings so that you can strum some really cool patterns. I'm gonna experiment with that. This is literally my first time using the Jammy at home. For the most part, I was playing pretty normally, but I did use tapping on one instrument which worked really well. Hammering on and pulling off seems pretty natural. I did find it easy though to kind of bend on accident. And the bends do seem a little oversensitive, extreme, but that's something you can change within the app. I just haven't really fine-tuned it yet. This is just out of the box default settings with the firmware updated. I guess just the reason I like using different types of MIDI controllers that give you a different approach to making music and making beats is because something like that tapping line is not something that I would be inclined to do on a keyboard. When you're locked into using a certain kind of instrument, whether it's a keyboard or a guitar or something else, you develop habits and you develop a comfort. And I guess it is important to try to break those habits on your instrument, but having a variety of types of instruments to play them on so that you can find inspiration in different ergonomics like a guitar has with tapping. That's what gets me really excited about Jammy, because I'm able to play these real strings but control the instruments and sounds that I love in Ableton Live to make beats. There also is the matter too that it is Bluetooth MIDI. Like, I hooked this up to my phone with Bluetooth and played along with the app with very little latency. And also that I don't need to be hooked up to anything. I can plug my headphone jack into the bottom here
and hear myself playing a guitar. Maybe someone will take this out on a gig, but I'm betting that if you're somebody who's traveling, going on vacation, or you need to practice, maybe you're a student and you need a guitar with you and you're going away somewhere, this is a perfect practice instrument if you're not looking to ship or travel with a whole guitar. You've got something that fits in a bag, which they gave a bunch of carrying cases for all the pieces here, and what I want to do to close out this video is disassemble the guitar and show you how it fits in my backpack.
Alright, some closing thoughts on Jammy as we pack it up and put it in the bag. It's a great MIDI guitar. Do I think it's a one-to-one, correspondence to a real guitar? No, but if that's what you want, you might as well just play a real guitar, It does have some sensitivity issues, but you can dial that in the app, and the app, you can put different sounds onto your Jammy, a clean guitar, an acoustic guitar, but then there's also different pedal options, which I thought was great. I can demo those in a future video, and if you want to see that, comment down below. But as you can see here, packing this thing up, it fits into all these little bags, and the bags fit together, and that's really cool. Another awesome aspect of the Jammy is that you can play it without being connected to anything. Just plug your headphones into Jammy, turn it on, and you're hearing sound. I thought that was pretty cool. But there's Jammy fitting in a whole bag. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more live electronic music performances, tutorials, and content to make you a more productive producer. This has been TAETRO. Have a good one.